Alrighty then, welcome guys to game number 3 in this Polaris Best of 9 series between TaToH and MbL. And I had my little break, so I'm all good this time. I'm not jittering around in my seat. Yeah, anyway, I was getting so distracted last game. It was difficult, man. Game number 3 is going to be on Black Forest, and this is a map that we just don't see that often. And last time we saw it was with the Viper versus Yo, and it was pretty epic with the Viper's Aztec monks just kicking so much butt. But hey, this looks like MbL's got something up his sleeve here. He's got a plan. He is a man with a plan, and he is setting forth into the center of the map within a minute of playing, sneaking 2 villagers through, or perhaps not, perhaps just walling it through. Why? Why send 2 villagers to do a 1 villager job? Obviously, Black Forest is explored, and MbL there didn't even take that opportunity to sneak, so I'm not sure what that's about, as he sends 2 villagers to wall up in the center of the map. That's kind of wasted villager time there. The first thing he did that game was get loom and send the villagers out to the center. And yeah, that center area is now plugged, and it's going to stay plugged for the rest of the game. Well, no, not quite for the rest of the game. It's going to stay plugged for quite some time. Obviously, this is the kind of map that, generally speaking, lasts quite some time, as both players will boom up, and they will mostly fight once they reach the Imperial age. But yeah, MbL, I thought he was going to sneak a villager through. Just judging by how fast he sent those villagers over there, he wasted no time at all getting to the center there, walling up and retreating back to take some food, taking his first board just now. So yeah, MbL then, he's the guy in the teal. He's playing as the Celts, and over on the left side of the map in the purple we've got TaToH, who's currently in the lead 2-0 in this series, playing as the Aztecs. Aztecs versus Celts. Well, last time we saw Aztecs on this map, we saw a bunch of monks piling into the center and causing a whole lot of trouble. Whether or not we see that this time, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, against the Celts, it's less likely to see that many monks coming out, really. Against the Turks, which we saw the Viper make the monks in, that made sense. That made a lot of sense, because if you think about it, the Turks are likely to fast Imperial, get a few conversions on their bombard cannons, and you're doing a huge amount of damage with that. Whereas with the Celts, they're not really likely to fast Imperial, they're not really likely to be making mega expensive bombard cannons in the center here. They're much more likely to be going for siege onagers supported by trash, and perhaps woad raiders as well, obviously woad raiders. But converting a bunch of woad raiders is a lot harder than converting 3 bombard cannons, so we'll see how it goes. I feel like the Celts have a natural advantage over the Aztecs, to be honest with you. Sure, the Aztecs have a better economy, thanks to their farming bonus, thanks to their villagers being more efficient on farms due to their carry capacity. And they're probably likely to have a faster Imperial time too, which could mean some earlier aggression from the Aztec player. But I do feel like the Celts get the upper hand if the game goes on. It's not too often that you see the Aztec player making Jaguar Warriors, and I feel like they should against the Celts, because they work really well against the Woad Raider. And although the Woad Raider is a little faster, if you can get them in the choke point, then your Jaguar Warrior is going to be doing good damage there. And I feel like that makes a lot of sense. But both players here do have access to Siege Onager, and Siege Onager is just devastating when used at a level like this. And, well, we'll see that, I imagine, eventually. But first, we're going to fast forward things, because this is going to be a pretty slow-paced early start to the game. And as TaToH now brings in that second boar with his Eagle Warrior, probably goes out to go and get a third one as well. We are going to have to sit tight while these guys do their booming stuff, try and do it as efficiently as possible. Now, both of them have got a couple of lakes, but there aren't any really good fish in these, so it's unlikely that either of them will dock. But the small advantage here that TaToH has is that he has got his Eagle Warrior to be able to lure these boar with, and he's about to lose his Eagle. He can take 2 more hits. Looks like he'll bring it in just fine. Anyway, TaToH like a boss, as usual. And what was I just saying? I doubt they'll dock, he says. And MbL sticks up a dock. Alright, well, you know, docking generally is valuable to do, But usually when there's more than 2 shorefish here, there's only 2 shorefish. There's no third shorefish in that lake. And to me, that's not valuable at all. I think 3 shorefish, yes. 4 shorefish, definitely. But 2 shorefish, that's not a lot of food right there. And MbL obviously going to get a slight population lead here as he has extra villagers coming out. But yeah, I don't think these guys are going to contribute too much. Obviously, once he gets up a fish trap for 100 wood and gets 700 food back, that's pretty good going, but it's so slow. And I guess it'll just keep things ticking over, but hey, what do I know? I doubt they'll dock, he says. A few lage coming in for both of them. Robert Stinson and TaToH slightly further ahead there, but look at the boar. He had so many boar, whereas TaToH here, sorry, not TaToH, MbL, sorry, just has 3. And there's no more over here, nothing to be found, whereas he only has 3 boar. TaToH's had 4, and I think there might be another one as well actually over here. Yeah, there's a 5th if he wants it. So obviously 3 boar to 5, that's quite a big difference. And well, TaToH putting his scout inside the town center here so that he can heal it up a bit and then go and bring that boar in once he's got enough health there to safely do the boar lure. So far though, blacksmith market, expected kind of stuff, and the castle age upgrade coming in for Robert Stinson slightly faster, and also doing bit axe here as well. Now, the reason you do bit axe after you click to the castle age is because if you do it before, then you're going to struggle getting up to the castle age quickly. And both of them doing horse collar and double bit axe immediately after reaching the well, clicking up to the castle age, sorry. And that's obviously just to make their wood income boosted up. That's to make their farms more efficient. And at this stage, just 3 farms for TaToH, no farms at all for MbL. So when they do start building those farms, they're going to be better. Once they get up to the castle age, they should have enough wood to put up 2 TCs straight away. And that's why the bit axe research is done. And obviously now castle age coming in as well. Nearly done for both of them. They're at 90% each, and we'll see those TCs coming up. Now, obviously, the Celts have a natural wood gathering advantage. That unique not technology, sorry, what am I on about? Unique bonus that they get. But in this situation, we see MbL quite low on wood here, opting to do bow saw really quickly. Same for Robert Stinson as well. The only difference is that Robert Stinson has been able to afford a little bit more on the wood. He's got his 2 TCs up straight away, whereas MbL has only been able to afford 1 TC at this point in time. Obviously, his wood has been impacted by building this dock and the 3 fishing ships, and that means that his 3rd TC is slightly slower coming up at the moment. But he has got a little bit of gold here. He might be tempted to do something at the market. He might be tempted to buy 100 stone and be able to put up a 4th TC. But yeah, I mean, obviously a little slower there with the wood income. And that means that so far TaToH going to get a small advantage, I feel, anyway. I guess these fishing ships are certainly counting for a lot, though, and means at the moment that MbL actually has 4 more villagers than Robert Stinson, TaToH. So yeah, I think overall, things probably end up about level, given the fact that TaToH's managed to get the 2 TCs up earlier, and MbL just has the dock and the fish trap that's coming up. That's just so slow. We'll be back in a year's time when that fish trap has depleted. It's going to take forever, I'm telling you. Note, though, that Robert Stinson here went straight away with a monastery, and we are seeing monks out already. So valuable for the Aztecs to take those relics early on. And if we have a quick look at where those relics are, well, he's got 1, he's got 2, and the other 3, unfortunately, are out of his reach. This one is on MbL's side, the one at the top is on MbL's side, and there's 1 locked away inside of the trees here. So Robert Stinson's going to be able to gather 2 relics up, but that's still pretty decent, to be honest with you. 2 relics is completely fine, as he doesn't have to worry about them once they're in. They're just going to start bringing in that gold income and adding up to quite a bit of gold throughout the duration of this game. So at the moment then, still pretty close in terms of villager count. Only MbL has got 5 more villagers at the moment. Make that 6, in fact. His second and third TC are now up and running. He's probably going to go for a fourth town centre, given the fact that he's still taking a little bit of stone with this villager. He might not, but I get the feeling that he will. At any rate, he's got 4 fish traps up now, and these fish traps are going to take years and years and years to finish. 715 food in each, going down at about 1 food every 2.5 seconds. It's that slow. But yeah, give them some time. They will get there eventually. But look at this. Robert Stinson coming in here. Perhaps, I don't know what the plan is, but starting to cut this piece of wood. Is he planning to perhaps cut his way through this little forest? Obviously, there's not a huge amount of wood here, but if he cuts his way through, that could be pretty annoying. That could certainly catch MbL off guard, and it's not a long way to cut through either. MbL at the moment, just doing wheelbarrow, much slower than Robert Stinson. In fact, Robert Stinson did wheelbarrow at 17 minutes and 43 seconds, whereas MbL did it at 20 minutes and 42 seconds, meaning that Robert Stinson's farms are going to be a lot more efficient, and he should have a little bit more food build up much sooner. But either way, he is still only on the 3 TCs, whereas MbL working on his 4th town centre now, as Robert Stinson, well, slowly but surely starts to chop down these trees. If he breaks his way through, though, that could be huge. I don't know if he's doing that to go for the relic, or if he wants to really, outflank MbL here. Obviously, MbL massively walling up the middle, and I think a lot of people, when they play Black Forest, they kind of look for an easy way out. They're like, I don't want to play a 2-hour trash war here. Let's just find a way out of this game as quick as possible, and Robert Stinson's way out is through the trees. This wolf is trying to aggro on them, which is quite funny. And if MbL's watching... Oh, sorry, not if he's watching. What am I on about? He can't see the wolf, of course. Herder. It would be deer. If there was a deer being scattered, then maybe something would happen. But, of course, won't see the wolf through the fog, so never mind. Yeah, just booming up. That's all there is to it at the moment. Just booming up. Robert Stinson now just doing handcart, though, at 22 minutes and 30 seconds. That's pretty early, in fact. I mean, normally, in a game where you're attacking in the feudal age and castle age, when you've been doing aggression throughout, that's kind of when you do handcart at 30 minutes. But because this has been pure boom, handcart coming in at 22 minutes and 30 seconds, that's pretty early. And again, this is well before MbL's clicked it, so that research is certainly going to be adding to Robert Stinson's food income. And if you have a look at his resources right now, he is very close to the Imperial Age. Just 3 villagers gathering gold. That's all he's had. Just 3, and he's had those 2 relics as well, and he's nearly at the 800 gold he needs to go up to the next stage. Meanwhile, at the center of the map, the siege workshop's up, so that means he's got 2 castle age buildings. He's building some houses up here just to support this extra population that's suddenly going to be booming up. And yeah, obviously Mangonel's coming out to start pressuring these walls. MbL's response: more walls. That's the way. That's the Black Forest way. Handcart just coming in for MbL now as well. He's taking his sweet time about it, as that's going to be done well after Robert Stinson here at TaToH even. MbL taking a lot more gold, though, you'll notice, as he starting to take a lot more stone as well. And this is the key difference here. MbL will need a castle or 2 if he wants to get into the Imperial Age and actually hold out against the Aztec onslaught. But the Aztecs here on the way up to the Imperial Age already, and well, at this point in time, the Imperial Age upgrade is clicked. Robert Stinson doing the gold mining, the stone mining upgrades, and he wants to make his economy as efficient as possible here as he goes up to the Imperial Age, get himself ready for this Imperial push. Obviously, he's going to want to upgrade to Onager pretty quickly, but he's also adding in some barracks here. And we'll see what he does. I mean, he might go for Eagle Warriors simply because they're the easiest to go for. Obviously, if you put up a castle before you go to the Imperial Age and you're taking a load of stone to get these castles up, it really slows your Imperial time down. And in fact, you can see that MbL is still not up yet. He's going to be up in a second, but he's had to take quite a bit of stone already. And that's resources that he's gathering that he could be taking in terms of food or gold. But he's had to take stone to get those castles. So that's the key difference. And for the Aztecs as well, going Jaguar Warriors straight off the bat, it's difficult to get the numbers, and obviously the Eagle Warriors are much easier to mass because they just come from the barracks. So there's so many researchers coming in now, like everything coming in for TaToH. Heavy plow, gold shaft mining, stone shaft mining. Like I say, he wants to make his economy as efficient as possible at this point in time, making sure that he's got as much gold, as much stone coming in as he possibly can, because he will spend it. Scale mail coming in at the blacksmith as well, and clearly then going for Eagle Warriors. Whoa, okay. So clearly going for Eagle Warriors. What am I on about? He's going for man-at-arms, in fact. And in fact, yeah, if you remember back to Yo versus the Viper, what did Mr. Yo do against the Viper? He was making man-at-arms, well, not man-at-arms, he was making two-handed swordsmen and champions, because they do stand a better chance than against Woad Raiders. Woad Raiders are actually really good against Eagles, and so it does make more sense, in fact, to go for champions here. So, my bad, guys, my bad. I should have seen that coming. But yeah, champions obviously going to be pretty strong against the Woadies, and I mean at this point in time TaToH has no idea what's going on behind these walls, but he could be sure that MbL is building for Woad Raiders. I mean there's not a lot in it. Long swordsman coming in, honor just coming in as well. Obviously we saw that one coming straight away, and also at the blacksmith he'll be doing the defense upgrades pretty quickly as well. For MbL is just doing fortified wall right now. He's like, man, these mangonels are getting through these walls pretty quickly. They're chewing them up. Let's just upgrade them and make them fortified. Obviously, that's going to slow things down again. And MbL does need to buy himself some time here, because obviously if he was to get raided now, he'd have no chance. Just doing two-handed swordsman is Robert Stinson, as MbL reaches the Imperial Age. So MbL already got that castle up, remember, and he's doing conscription straight away. He knows he's bought himself a bit of time here, but on the left side we got to keep an eye out on these villagers here. We got to keep a close eye on their progress through here. They're surprisingly not actually cutting the right way. They are cutting the trees that are not going through to MbL's base, and MbL, look at that. MbL knows what's up. He doesn't see the villagers, but he sees the chopped trees, and he's putting up an outpost and a fortified wall to just stop this cut through from Robert Stinson. Of course, Robert Stinson, once he gets siege onager, he can just cut his way around anyway. But still, I mean, MbL, good spot, making sure, of course, that sneaky TaToH doesn't make his way through. TaToH now, though, doing champion. And he's going to start making quite a lot of units very quickly. It's not going to take him long now. He's got a ton of gold in the bank, just lacking the food at the moment, and also doing a castle. I imagine he's going to do conscription as fast as possible here, as both these guys just slowly but surely build their way up. And I say slowly but surely, they're at 31 minutes. They're pretty far ahead, I guess, compared to what normal players would be at, but still, taking their time about conflict, that's for sure. Woad Raiders coming out, of course. Trebuchet on the way out as well. And siege onager for MbL. He is not wasting any time. Get on the onager hype, because it's happening. He's also got two blacksmiths to do the double upgrades here on the Woadies. But yeah, siege onager coming out. And that's a huge upgrade. Very expensive. But it is the one that is going to make this game just awesome. It's so important. Doing siege engineers at the university, of course, to give them that extra range. And siege onager is going to be massive. He might be able to pick off a lot of units very quickly from TaToH. TaToH's just walling up here with some gates and the like. Making sure to keep himself nice and safe. But his actual military production is not really there at the moment. He's leaving it right till the last minute. In fact, TaToH at the moment just not making a single champion yet. There we go. Some champions now being queued up, taking his sweet time. He's got all the time in the world, it seems, because he's not in any rush, clearly. Onagers coming out, just 2 onagers at a time, and starting to get the attack upgrades on these infantry units now as well. MbL clearly quite far ahead. In terms of upgrades here, the siege onager upgrade is now done, and that's the big one. That is the big one. And Robert Stinson upgrading his monks at the moment, in fact, just doing redemption on those guys, which is kind of cool. Elite Woad Raider for MbL here. Those really expensive upgrades, slowly but surely coming in, and 4 castles there for him as well. So he's going to have quite a bit of production very soon. Economy-wise, MbL does have more villagers out by 3, and his economy is going to be less efficient than Robert Stinson. Pardon me, Robert Stinson here. The Aztecs do get a fantastic eco, and well, we'll see if that really makes too much difference here. It probably will, let's be honest. But I don't know, the Celts gonna get the upper hand, I feel, in the late game. I just feel like they have that potential. They are the late game powerhouse. So many upgrades coming through though. Robert Stinson really laying on the upgrades on his knights right now. He's doing sanctity, block printing, theocracy. That's going to add range to his that's going to add conversion range. Question is, will he have the micro ability to actually use these guys effectively? If he can start converting siege, that would be fantastic. But being able to actually, you know, convert a lot of units in a short space of time is difficult. You have to micro them really, really fast, and it's kind of difficult to do that. So I don't know. We'll see if he manages to pull it off or not, I suppose. Down in the south, though, MbL is making the first move, and he is going to, well, basically cut through the forest here. Robert Stinson perhaps giving him the inspiration to do this, deleting his fortified wall. The Woad Raiders come swimming through, and well, they are elite Woad Raiders. They have +4 defense, +2 attack, and well, quick wall off from TaToH here, and his Woadies aren't going to get any further until, that is, the Siege Onager cuts around this gate as well. So quickly scrambling all of these champions as fast as he can, getting them there to prevent any serious damage to his economy, bringing over the monks as well. And I want to see if he can get many conversions here. It's going to be tough. And the Onager, of course, cutting straight through that wood line there. That's so obviously expected. But yeah, these monks, not many of them out on the field at the moment. And the thing with going monks in a 1v1 is that they are really expensive if you don't do it well. There's only a finite amount of gold on the map, and you've got to make it work out. Otherwise, you're just throwing gold down the drain. So, Robert Stinson here, walls breached, and MbL gonna just fall flat on his face. He's not killed really any villagers here. He's got a couple of Woad Raiders into his eco. But TaToH at the moment not taking any serious losses, but he is being compromised. Another cut through on the top side. Those Siege Onagers quickly breaking through the trees there, and MbL is going to find himself again into TaToH's base, looking for some villager kills, looking to raid with the Woad Raiders. Believe it or not, that is their sole purpose in this game. He's got them fully upgraded. Blast Furnace just completing a minute ago, and well, TaToH slightly on the back foot here. You've got to bear in mind, though, that, like I said, the gold is finite, and if TaToH manages to defend pretty well, then obviously the gold will eventually run out for MbL, but we're talking quite some time before that happens. Meanwhile, on the front, he's pushing through with the trebuchets to bring down these siege workshops, and using his onagers here to continue cutting through. And he's got the hill advantage as well, so these onagers firing uphill cannot do anything to MbL. MbL's all over this. He's cut another path through at the top, and he is going to start raiding back here pretty quickly. And there becomes an issue where TaToH will not be able to keep all of these holes plugged, and he is going to struggle to keep an eye out on what's going on. And, you know, if MbL keeps raiding him in every direction, then TaToH is going to be on the back foot here. But in this situation, these champions are pretty damn cheap. Let's be honest, they cost quite a bit of food, 60 food, but only 20 gold. They're almost trash, but they are pretty damn strong for the price that they are, and they're going to sweep through on the front there. MbL has got 48 military units, but they're nowhere to be seen as these champions come and destroy these trebuchets very, very quickly, picking off a bunch of Woad Raiders as well. And bear in mind that these are Aztec champions, so they do get that attack upgrade of +4 extra attack damage, meaning that they have, well, more attack damage than the Woadies. The Woad Raiders, though, do have a little bit more health, but in terms of armor, the champions beat them on that as well. So Woad Raiders here coming in to fight this. They were kind of out of position sitting at the south here, and so far pretty back and forth. I think MbL had a good start cutting his way through, but things seem to have almost died down a little bit for him there. They're both even on the upgrades, but of course, TaToH getting the advantage with the champions here thanks to all that extra attack damage that they're putting out. But Woad Raiders still extremely strong, and the numbers are in favor of MbL at the moment. He has got more infantry out on the map. It looks like he's going to start cleaning up these champions now as another wave of reinforcements comes in. But I'm just surprised he's not using his siege onagers a little more here. You know, putting your siege onagers in there, getting a few shots to weaken the enemy army before you engage with your woadies. That's a good idea. But hey, TaToH's got other ideas. TaToH's going to start converting. And that would be pretty good. 2 conversions. Out of all of these monks, just 2 conversions. It's kind of difficult to get a lot of conversions because your opponent reacts very quickly. They notice pretty quickly. And your monks, well, you got to micro them very, very fast if you want to get many conversions. It's a very difficult thing to do. So the Celts now start to switch into some Scorpions, and that makes a lot of sense. Chemistry just being completed, as well as Furor Celtica for the extra health on the siege. The Celtic siege is just so beastly. 105 health on these onagers. The Rams with 405 health. It's just like, God, when's it gonna end? They're just so strong. But once again, MbL looking for another way through the tree line, and of course he's gonna find it, flattening that onager across the lake as well. And this is the thing here, the champions are quite considerably slower than the Woad Raiders, so MbL's strategy is just to attack on one side, switch things up, attack on the other, kill a bunch of villagers, switch things up, and attack on the other. And you know, TaToH, if he sends his whole army down to the south, by the time he gets there, MbL's ready to go and attack in the north again. And it's so clever how he's playing this. The Woad Raiders clearly with that speed advantage, and clearly with a much better raiding capability than any old champions might have. So there's the attack coming in at the top. And if you remember, TaToH just moved half his army down to the south to defend this. So it's really clever kind of split pushing. And the heavy Scorpions now coming through as well. And that is basically going to put an end to this army. Heavy Scorpions are so good against infantry. They are fantastic. And, you know, once the infantry, or any units, in fact, get into a choke point, the Scorpions just destroy them. MbL once again cutting another way through these walls. His Woad Raiders looking for more entryways. And, well, TaToH's out of position. His monks just moving back and forth. It's like, which way should we go? They just don't know. They're making their way up to the top now. By the time they get over there, MbL is going to be launching another attack in the south. It's just never ending. MbL seems to be all over this at the moment, and it's fantastic. Robert Stinson's onager here. I don't know what it was attacking. It looked like it was attacking his own TC for a second there, which was quite amusing. But look at that siege. Oh my goodness me. That siege is killing a whole lot of champions right there. TaToH down to 165 population. His economy pretty hurt from this raiding so far. And this massive ball of siege here is going to be very difficult for TaToH, for MbL to... for TaToH to defend against. The Woad Raiders coming through. The monks, they're going for the conversions on the siege, but the Woad Raiders are destroying everything. Oh my goodness me. Are they going to get a couple of conversions or not? No, they are not. And that was a huge amount of gold down the drain for TaToH there. This is what I was saying. The monks, you know, they're so difficult to get the conversions with. You know, when things are masked up. This is why they worked so well for the Viper when he was playing against Yo. But in this situation, there's too many units. And TaToH just cannot get the conversions. So TaToH now adding in some Jaguar Warriors. I think I saw a Jaguar Warrior up at the top. Look, there's one there. I think that's a good decision to make. Some Jaguar Warriors would be good. But again, the Woad Raiders have got the speed advantage. And in this situation, TaToH, Robert Stinson doesn't have Siege Onager, which would be something fantastic for him at the moment. Still making a ton of monks though, and I just don't think it's the right thing to do, to be honest with you. I just don't. 3 hits, maybe 4 hits, and these Woad Raiders will take them down. They're just not going to get the conversions. He has to manually click each monk, right-click each Woad Raider, and they're just getting slaughtered here. Robert Stinson, he's still got 1,300 gold. There's certainly no shortage of gold. And finally, he's finally making some more Jaguar warriors, but you know, he's not got that much stone income. He's lost access to 2 gold piles on the front of his base, and well, the Woad Raiders are raiding everywhere from MbL. So MbL looks like he's going to have this game pretty soon. His APM, you might notice as well from that graph at the bottom there, almost double Robert Stinson right now. He is in the zone quite clearly, and Robert Stinson's APM is dropping down as he kind of gets overwhelmed. Like, I know exactly what is happening right now to TaToH. You know, when you've got so much going on and you're just like, oh god, I just cannot keep up with this. You just fall behind, and your APM just slows right down. That's basically what's happening, and MbL is just totally in the zone, killing villagers off at the back. And it's not going to be long before we're seeing a GG from TaToH here, as TaToH tries to get some more conversions. He's going for the onagers, which makes a lot of sense. They're pretty expensive and the most devastating. Look at that. But to be honest with you, MbL's really quite fine. He's still pushing in. He can start taking these gold piles if he feels cheeky. And his Woad Raiders are doing the job. The economy of TaToH now down to 91 villagers. And TaToH giving it one last stand, I imagine, here, as his APM starts spiking up again, like trying to get back into it, put his serious face on. But I think it's a little bit too late for him. Jaguar warriors are coming out, but these heavy scorpions behind this are going to be laying in the damage to them. And it's just 16 military out now for TaToH versus the 59 of MbL. And MbL is just going to keep pushing through. For TaToH, it is well and truly over at this point in time. It is well and truly over. MbL spending all of its gold. It's gone. But there's the GG, and TaToH going to resign. MbL just doing what MbL should have done. He should have won that game. I feel like Celts do have an advantage in this matchup. And, well, I think the decision here to go with the monks from TaToH, I don't think that was a good decision, to be honest. I think it was very costly. He spent so much gold on those monks. I mean, I don't know how many he had, but I think, you know, he must have had about... he must have had, what, about 20, 30 monks there? That's 3,000 gold on monks, and they got massacred for absolutely nothing. That was really, really very costly. I think that was a big mistake. And I don't know, maybe he was just trying to play a little bit differently, mix things up a bit. But against the Celts, you know they're going to be going heavy siege. I think he should have done the siege onager upgrade. You know, the siege onager would have been fantastic for TaToH. He would have been able to flatten a lot of these heavy scorpions. He would have been able to flatten a lot of the onagers from MbL as well. And then maybe just more two-handed swords, champions, basically just more. Well, to be honest, the champion is a two-handed swordsman, but more champions, just more of them. And he might have been okay. Instead of spending all of that gold on monks, which just didn't seem to pay off at all. So I don't know what he was thinking with that. Of course, MbL just defending in the center for the entire game, and you know, he was all over the place. Like I said, he was cutting through in so many different locations that TaToH just could not keep up with what was going on. And the raiding, well, the raiding happened. And once the raiding happens, the raiding is very teal. It's very difficult to stop it. And obviously MbL got a big advantage because of that, not just in his economy, but also in his military as well. So well played to MbL. He's going to get his first point on the board in this best of 9 series, and that makes it